Welcome back to Moon Harbor Heroes. Today's issue is Blockade Issue 3, War Machine. On the cover, the Asteron General Cyborg towers above Machina and Rider Typhon, who are both pinned to the ground, laser swords to their chests. In the bottom corner, there's a silver embossed logo in bold letters, Blockade. We turn the page and our story begins.
5 of you are standing in this, parking lot of this, strip mall, and the Asteron General Cyborg has just landed in front of you, along with 3 of the hooded figures, and I'm going to say there are 5 of the, general guards. So the last thing that happened was that the general said something about how pathetic we all were as a group, and launched towards you, and the fight began. Let's start down the hole with Ryder. Ryder, the mount dug its claws underneath you, you fell down, and then something happened, you got a little bit of viscera splattered on you. And in fact, I think this is a good place to start the comic. We start in the darkness as you're adjusting and getting up. Some warm rain, as far as you know, because it's dark down there, has fallen atop your skin, or your suit. And you can hear the sounds of battle from above. You can hear the general saying, everyone here is pathetic. What do you want to do?
So I guess you're gonna see the opening panels of the guard, the dude saying, you are all pathetic, or whatever he says, and launching forward, and then it's gonna go to a panel that says a few seconds earlier, and you're gonna see Ryder standing up and dusting himself off, and his suit beginning to glow, and he's just looking around. He cracks his neck. You actually see the sound effect, the onomatopoeia of the crack as he pops his joints, and he's just oh, okay. He looks up at the rain, and then the next panel is just him just a jump, and all you see is a cloud of dust where he just leapt off the ground. The next panel you're going to see is him jumping directly in front. He's going to come out of the hole and basically land directly in front of the general, with his arms crossed, ready to take a blow from the general. And he's going to look at him and say, I think we got off on the wrong foot, buddy. What do you actually want here? And he's going to say that as he takes a blow from the general directly to the center of his arms, like he's blocking a blow.
Yeah, I'm going to say, because Max is right there, even if you didn't know you were defending Max, I think that is still a defend of someone. Also, just so you know, the general is a woman.
Okay.
And yeah, go ahead and roll to defend for me.
Awesome.
On a hit, you can choose one. You keep them safe and choose one. On a 7 or 9, it costs you expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation. So let's start with which one you're going to choose.
I'm going to escalate the situation. Basically, as soon as I take the hit, I'm going to use the power of the blow that the general is hitting me with, and basically do a backflip kick and try to kick them away, escalating the situation because now it's clearly a fight. And
great. And then choose one from the list. Do you want to add a team to the pool, take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition?
I'll add a team to the pool.
Great. The Asteron General, her left hand is an energy manifester, which can turn energy into different objects. So essentially she had made fists out of energy that she was just swinging because she was going to hit Max. You landed in front of her, and she just slams her fist into you, sending you skidding backwards, but also leaving you open to that flip to launch her back as well. That you kept Max safe, you blocked that, and she gets knocked back just long enough for Max.
Okay, so I think we get the shot of Max. I'm still holding the hose covered in viscera, and I look beat up. I'm hurting. But I'm going to dart over to Ryder and hand on the shoulder, are you okay? Are you okay? And kind of push them up to their feet.
I'm fine. Focus on the fight. Let's deal with this threat and worry about each other later.
I'm going to hand Ryder the hose that I think is still spewing the steam. I think you can get closer than I can.
Ryder kind of figures out exactly what's going on, and he's going to grab the hose and basically leap into the air and try to spray the general directly with it.
Oh, cool. So yeah, the hose can't stretch that much further, it's probably another like foot or two, so you can pull it like forward. If you pull it any further, it'll probably pop off from the wall. So do you want to try to pull it forward and pop it from the wall, or do you want to like get it as close as you can and like aim the theme however you'd like to?
Yeah, that actually sounds super cool. Yeah, can we get like a panel of it, the hose like stretching to its maximum? Because I think Al could jump in here with something really cool.
Yeah, I will try to move it forward, but I'm going to realize that it's at its limit, and I'm going to look back and go, we have a problem.
So I assume I'm still in the shopping mall. Yes, because I fell through and then Max ran in and saved the day.
Yeah, you hadn't made it outside yet. You got like launched back in and fell through.
But I imagine seeing this hose tug, I'm gonna open a portal that basically adds like a good 5 or 10 feet to it, if that makes sense. So it just skips some space.
Yeah, I love that. Because it's already stretched so thin, I want you to go ahead and roll to unleash your powers for me.
Let's pretend that didn't happen.
That did happen. Go ahead and mark potential.
Oof.
How do your portals manifest?
So I cut through the air with my samurai sword, and it's like a tearing open of the space time. And when they collapse, it's like, you know how like when you draw a circle on paper and you crinkle it, that's what it looks like. So it looks like the space time is folding when it collapses, and it's tearing when I take it open.
Yeah, so you swing your samurai sword to cut that portal, and you just cut right through the hose.
Shit.
We see the sword slash through. We get a close-up panel of your like face covered in panic, and then we cut back to Ryder holding the hose as nothing comes out, as it like just stops running. On your side, Al, the hose is still spewing. The mist, like, it's still pumping out the open side where you cut it. But yeah, it's no longer reaching outside the building, and the mall is rapidly filling with this mist.
Is this mist toxic to me?
Nope, it doesn't hurt people at all.
Could I try and portal again to like portal outside?
Yeah, sure.
So, plan number 2, I'm going to cut a portal in front of me and then open a portal so that it's in front of, so it's outside again. And then like shove the hose, what's remaining of the hose, through the portal.
Yeah, go ahead and roll to unleash your powers again. Roll for plus 3.
God, let's really hope this works, because I can't afford 2 failures in a row.
Hey, you got potential.
I'm too cool for that. Nope.
If you want to spend team selfishly, you can tell me how this hurts other people in the team. You can shift your labels and move your freak up 1 and something else down.
Okay, so yeah, so let's say it's going to affect Max, because Max is the person on my mind currently, because I'm like, oh god, I've screwed up Max's plan, and so subconsciously I've accidentally opened a portal under Max.
Can I shift that ever so slightly?
Oh yeah, of course.
I think you open the portal, and it subconsciously is right on top of Max, and you shove the hose through and just knock Max into the hole.
Okay.
And that shifts your freak up 1 and something else down 1.
Let's take my savior down, because I feel like that would make the most sense. I'm being basically useless.
Fantastic. Max, can you tell me what that looks like?
Yeah, I think we get like a shot of like Max and Squire, and maybe the two of them hand signaling, because they were about to like scatter to the trees and just try to get a recon of the situation. And then we just see the portal open up behind Max, and the hose goes through and just hits him right in the back of the head, and he just falls down the hole.
I want to say that I think Ryder would notice that he's falling, and I'm gonna preface this as a thought bubble. But Ryder doesn't realize, like, Ryder does know who all the heroes, and I'm putting that in air quotes here, heroes are, but he doesn't realize that Max is not actually like superpowered. So he's actually going to dive down into the hole, since he was already down there once. It's whatever. And he's going to grab Max and throw him back out of the hole, because I'm not worried about getting hurt falling.
Cool. Let's go ahead and have you roll to defend. Say that on a 7 to 9 on a defend,
I'm exposing myself to danger from the fall.
And do you want to add a team to the pool, take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition?
I will add another team to the pool.
Great. So you are diving down to grab Max. Tell me what that looks like.
As far as on the panel, it looks like you're going to see a panel of Ryder's face, like behind the mask, and you're going to see him glance and kind of like an exclamation point, just twink. You know how the guards in Metal Gear Solid do, it's like chink, and then it's going to be like he's just going to basically dive into the hole, and you're going to see a panel of Max falling, and then Ryder appearing beside him, grabbing him and throwing him and Squire, I'm assuming, back towards the top of the hole, hoping that they land safely, but not in the hole.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to come back to you exposing yourself to danger. We're going to come back to that in a second. Machina, what you see is the portal open, the hose smack Max falls down, Ryder jumps down, and then immediately backs like it's like flung out. And like, when I say flung out, Max goes like 10, 15 feet up from where the hole is, and then Max comes landing down. And that's what Asimov and Machina both see. Machina, what do you want to do first? Your friend just came barreling out of the hole.
So I still have that sword.
You do.
I'm really excited to use this, but I'm going to go check on Max first.
Great, just tell me what that looks like.
So I think we're going to have her running over to him and tapping him like, "Hey, bud, how you doing?"
That hurt, but that was awesome.
It sure was. So now that she's made sure that he's okay, I think she's going to try to join the fight. How many non-general people are there?
There are 8 non-general people. So 3 in the hooded robes and 5 guards.
Oh, wasn't one of them the one that I was previously fighting, the one that went back up?
Yeah, the one who looks like he's not doing great, that's the one.
Cool. I'm going to fight him because this shit is personal.
Yeah, he's probably the closest to you right now.
Yeah, I'm down. I want to kill him with his own sword.
Cool, go ahead and roll to directly engage a threat.
And I got a 13.
Tell me what that looks like.
Impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition and create an opportunity for my allies.
Great, what does that look like?
We get a panel that's like a face-off where they're staring each other down with... What was the other... I have the energy sword. What was the other thing he had? An energy blaster?
Yeah, they have like a taser gun, is what I've been calling. Taser cannon is what I've been calling it.
We get a panel that's a half-body face-off where we can see our opposing weapons. And I think Machina's going to give it a bit of an extra electrical jolt and just go full-on fighting.
Cool, then what does that look like on the page? Like when you hit him, I'm gonna tell you you're taking him out of this fight, so...
Awesome. She's going to go straight for the torso and kind of just jab it in. And we get a look on her face that's surprised. That's like, oh shit, that just happened. Because she has not killed anybody before.
I don't think we'd necessarily know if he dies. The energy sword goes through him. He drops his taser cannon to the ground, and we see the moment where like you get the look of surprise where you look down and the sword's inside of him, and you're both surprised, and then he just kind of evaporates. It's not quite like the like beam me up Scotty thing that was happening earlier when he disappeared. It's slightly different, but it's similar. And he's gone, and you have the energy sword in your hand and the taser cannon at your feet.
I'm picking that up.
Great, you have it. After you pick it up, we switch over, and we get a panel of Asimov. Asimov, what are you doing?
This whole entire fight, the robot's just been standing there motionless. And finally, some windshield wipers come on to start wiping off the viscera off of the monitor. We get a panel back at the house. Brian tosses aside a little device that says on it, "No signatures detected." And he's just like, I don't understand. He is now just finally seeing the enemies in front of him. So there's 8 of them now, right? Total?
Yep, there's 3 masked or hooded figures. Now 4 of the guards and the general.
Is there anybody currently in the hole? I think Ryder is, right?
Ryder is down the hole currently, yep.
I'm going to say that's the direction where I happen to be looking. And I'm going to extend my hand down to Ryder.
Can your hand extend? Is it like a grappling hook style, or is it like you're just reaching your hand down?
It can extend.
Perfect.
Like old school Machine Man, where it's just more metal. Just screw it.
I love that. You reach down, you like make it to the edge of the hole because you're not super close to the hole. You're gonna get closer, but as you get to the edge of the hole, as you step near the edge, some of the ground gives away, and a handful of rocks tumble down. Probably about, I don't know, 30, 40 pounds of rocks tumble down from the edge of the hole as you get close to it, and they land on top of Ryder. Ryder, go ahead and roll to take a powerful blow from the exposing yourself to danger earlier.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Great, mark potential. So tell me how you weather the blow of the rocks.
So you see the panel, it's actually the exact same panel where he jumped earlier. The dust is settling. Ryder lands in a superhero landing pose and then just covers his head as rocks just over top of him. And then you just see him stand up and look up like, okay.
And you see a metal hand open wide coming down at you.
Ryder, what are you doing? There's a hand reaching out.
I'm gonna reach up and grab it.
Cool. You can pull him out of the ground. It's not going to be hard for you.
I gently pull him up and then ask him, "You want to get over there?"
I'm gonna look at this is a robot, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look at the robot and go, yeah, over. And he looks at the fight and goes, oh, yeah, that. I'm gonna go deal with that. You keep doing what you do, buddy. And then
Okay, I'm gonna toss him.
all right, I will take the toss.
Great. I'm going to say that's going to be reshaping your environment. Go ahead and roll to unleash your powers. So it's going to be plus freak. Flawless. On a hit, you do it. Tell me what that looks like.
It looks like the world's best volleyball serve, although a little more horizontal, less
It feels a
bouncing.
little bit more like javelin to me. Like, I imagine we're fully like javelin throwing Ryder. So what does that look like on paper? Like, what is that picture?
The robot starts hopping a steps back and winding its arm back, and you see Ryder in it, just like and what kind of pose would you be taking for this? I'm picturing you just like a straight needle.
Yeah, I'll get into whatever pose you need to throw me in, buddy.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he's like a needle, and I just whoosh, like the Olympics.
Do we hear Ryder say that?
Yes.
Perfect. I want to jump over to Max at this point. So Ryder just threw you up out of the ground. You landed. Machina was like, "Are you good?" And then ran away promptly after you're like, "I'm good." And then all of a sudden, Ryder goes flying over your head, going, "Yeah, wahoo!" As he like launches pin needle style towards. Where are you throwing him? Are you throwing him towards the Asteron Guard, the General? Where are you tossing?
I'm tossing him at one of the 3 hooded figures.
Perfect. So you're gonna toss him over towards like the side of the circle. So you're tossing him kind of far from where you are. But that's all within your capability as a superhero. So yeah, Ryder goes whizzing past your face, Max, yelling, "Yeah, wahoo!" What do you do?
I think as like we get the panel of Ryder flying past, we get Max just staring in shock at Machina. Like, I don't think he even notices Ryder at this point. And I think we get a moment of him just shaking his head. Can I take a powerful blow?
Yeah, sure.
So I just had a teammate die, and then a couple hours later, another teammate just kill someone in front of me. Shit just got real.
Yeah, take a powerful blow. Cool. It's a 6. So tell me how you weather the blow.
I think we get just Max staring just in complete shock, and then Squire runs up and like tugs on the fabric of Max's like leg, and Max kind of shakes his head, turns around. Is the portal still there?
Yep, the portal pumping the mist is still there.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna like kind of look through the portal, reach my hand through, and be like, "Hey, neon cyberpunk sword dude, we need you."
Great. So Blue Samurai Al, he just reached through the portal and said, "We need you. What do you want to do?"
I'm gonna kind of nod, like I'm feeling pretty upset with myself, but I'm gonna nod and just walk through this portal and take in the scene that I'm about to witness.
And I think as Blue Samurai steps through, can we get a shot like maybe through the other side of the portal? Max puts his hand on Blue Samurai's shoulder and goes, "You did an awesome job getting that hose there. That really helped, but we need to keep going." and I think I'm sharing a
Comfort.
triumph and celebrate. Actually, either way.
Let's have that as a comfort and support. Go ahead and roll plus mundane for me on that. Cool. On a hit, they hear you. They can either mark potential, clear condition, or shift labels if they open up to you.
I feel like I could probably open up, yeah.
What do you say in response to that?
I don't know how it went wrong. My portals never go wrong. What? And just kind of stare dejectedly at him. But
I'm just gonna like smile, like, don't worry, all I do is throw a raccoon, and that has gone wildly wrong before. Get in there.
Al, are you going to mark potential, clear condition, or shift your labels?
I'm gonna probably mark my potential because I'm afraid of my labels currently.
Perfect. And you're adding team in, I see.
No, I was just putting that closer. I am actually going to clear condition. I think I'm no longer hopeless.
Cool. All right, and then the two of you are kind of side by side. Amber's a little bit off. Behind you, across the hole, there's the robot. And flying in front of you is still tossing through the air miraculously, because physics and superhero logic, is Ryder. So I want to jump over to Machina.
Real quick, sorry. Could we have just a panel of Al and Max like shaking hands or like hugging or something while all of that's in the background?
I love that. Describe what that panel looks like for me.
Ryder's flying through the sky. I assume Amber still has like shock on her face from murdering somebody. And where was Asimov at exactly?
Somewhere behind you, out of sight. If you're looking in that direction, he's in the other direction.
Okay,
Near
so
the
yeah.
hole.
So we've got Ryder and Amber both in the background while like it's just like, you know, like in anime how they have the lines around like something exciting happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of, and like with Max and Al in like the center of it all, because Max is a great guy.
I'm also going to add that in the background, we see the general racing towards the two of you. She's like fully heading towards the two of you because you're the only ones like in her direct line of vision. We see the hooded figure that you're all launching towards raise his hand up, and he's going to target an attack on Ryder as Ryder is flying in. Ryder, we have a custom move that I'm going to send right now. When the Asteron Mage tries to invade your mind, roll plus mundane. So do that first, and I will walk through all the pieces with you. That's a 4.
That's a 4.
On a miss, the Asteron Mage invades your mind, and I get control of you for a brief period of time. The first thing that happens is, as you're flying through the air towards this mage, you make eye contact with it. And all of a sudden, it feels like all of your memories about all of your teammates are just like on display. And he gets to learn one weakness of someone on your team. Whose weakness are you exposing at this moment?
Honestly, the only one that I've observed at all would probably be Max.
So what is the weakness that you're observing of Max?
They're fully human.
That Max does not have any powers.
Yeah, that Max. So when I guess the panel was going to show like a flashback of when Ryder threw Max, and I would say that in that moment, Max is. This didn't hurt him. It may have like popped back into place as soon as he landed, but his shoulder somewhat dislocated a little bit. So it basically he realized at that point, oh shit. This guy's not a superhuman, and that's the memory that he sees to get that weakness.
Absolutely.
I love that, and it is so much nicer than where my mind went when you said Max, because my mind in the panel was just like a picture of Max and Squire hugging.
Yep, that's where my mind went too. So
Thank you for being a nice person, Kaido.
I wasn't gonna put this. No, raccoon cannot be endangered. No.
The Asteron Mage, as you're flying towards, all of a sudden it feels like your body stops in midair and then lands. And then, without having any control of yourself, you turn around. And you are now facing Max, who's looking mid handshake, or maybe it's just broken out of the handshake and maybe facing the general. Walk me through a general idea of your powers really fast. I know them, but just to refresh.
Would this be in the panel, say, reminding of the power set?
Let's do this meta. Let's go. This is not on the page.
Can we do it
Okay.
in a panel? Because I would love to get a side-by-side panel of like Ryder and little lines pointing to bits referencing the powers, and then a panel of Max where it just says human.
Let's do that. I love that.
So Ryder's power set right now is regeneration, mythic might, phasing, legendary speed, and godlike beauty.
Excellent. And your mythic might has represented mainly in like sword fighting, correct?
In sword fighting and fist fighting, yes. He's
Perfect.
also a trained martial artist, so that's also takes into effect.
And then your phasing, how did that represent?
When that in the panel, that represents by his so his right hand is so I'm going to say his right hand is glowing in the panel, and you see an outline maybe of the outline of the sword. It's not fully in the shot, but you maybe see an outline of the sword phasing into being. But you're going to see his left hand, and his left hand's going to be kind of invisible, but kind of there. You're going to see an outline of it, but you're not going to actually see his hand there, and that'll be the phasing.
Excellent.
Regeneration, I would say you're going to see maybe a cut on his chest or something like that, and you're going to see it. It's like already begun to close, like on the costume has already begun to close or something like that.
Perfect. So you're going to take a page out of Lighthammer's book in this moment. And as you land and turn, your body is very like almost mechanical in the way it's now being taken over. And the sword appears in your hand. And you're going to swing the sword at the ground and just like do the thing in superhero comics that they do where they like hit the ground and send like a wave of ground, like an energy bolt through the ground kind of towards Max's feet. I'm going to say that I want you to roll to directly engage with threats.
Moon Harbor Heroes is produced by Anthony Sheets and TP Huth, and edited by Anthony Sheets. Anthony can be found on Twitter at IcyNewYear or at IcyNewYear.com. T is the host of Incubator on Air, a new play podcast available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play. They can be found at T Huth Playwright on Twitter or TPHuth94 on Instagram. This issue was GM'd by T Huth. Asimov is played by EXPHP. You probably won't find him at It's EXPHP on Twitter, but it's worth a try. Blue Samurai is played by William Hendry. You can find him on Twitter at RockoutWill321 or on Steam as Cypress_Grunham. Carl is played by Simon Meskins. You can find him on Twitter as @Gilberecki. Machina is played by Elliot Peterson. She can be found at Elliot Yelin on Instagram. Rascal King is played by me, Anthony Sheets. Ryder Typhon is played by Kaido Kane. Kaido is a Twitch personality and loves their 3 mischievous cats. You can find them at The Versian on Twitter and as Kaido Kane on twitch.tv. The music for this issue is Curse of the Scarab by Kevin MacLeod. The license and a link to his website can be found in the show notes. Our logo was designed by Beautiful Beasties. She can be found on Instagram at beastly.doodles or on Patreon at patreon.com/beautifulbeasties. If you want to get a hold of us, email us at moonharborheroes@gmail.com or on Twitter at moonharborcast. If you enjoyed this issue, please consider leaving us a review on iTunes and recommending it to friends. Word of mouth is really the best way for us to bring these stories to more people. And thanks for helping us save the world. We'll see you next issue.